welcome to another theory video. I'm Elmo.
Oh god. Okay.
Oh boy.
Hey, we're back after a long hiatus. It's time for another Kingdom Hearts theory video.
I'm Kata.
Jude.
Here, let's get this started.
Okay, we went through a number of theories and we have some connections to involve when it comes to Yozora. So, Armand, want to take it away?
Oh yeah. So, the whole Yozora thing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my theory was it's a stupid theory though, but he could be Ebimerra from another dimension because we know at the end of the Keyblade War, like we don't know what happened to Ebimerra. He showed up on an island, then somehow it became like that became the new Scarlet of Kylan to some degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know where he is now. We don't know if he died or not.
Mm-hmm. That is a good question. Although, some people suggested that Emperor has actually been alive, or maybe he was discovered, a few things like that. Here's also my theory on the intake of Yozora, if that's fair.
Go ahead and take a take.
Well, remember at the beginning when you first met Yozora, you tried to beat him and then you failed? Well, this theory might connect. When Yozora was able to be killed, no, my mistake, that Yozora was able to take down Sora right after you first beat him and then failed, Sora became crystallized, and when he did, Yozora says, "I will save you," and then he went up into the sky and ended up in the Purgatory in Quadratum. So it would make sense that Sora would end up in the Quadratum in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. It would connect to make sense. So if you try being Yozora and then fail, you end up in the Purgatory, which is aka Quadratum, and that would make sense to that.
Well, yeah, but I feel like no matter what you do, you're gonna be in purgatory. The thing is, with Yozora, because let's think about this. You play Kingdom Hearts 3, there's a secret boss at the Keyblade Graveyard that you can fight. And that is like, what's it called? I don't know what it's called. Because that boss is basically Ebimerra's purpose.
Yeah.
We never fought the Nobody. We don't know the Nobody is dead or anything like that. But if that is the case, if his Heartless is running around doing stuff just like the Lingering Will, that means he has lost his heart in some way, shape, or form. Or maybe cast off into this alternate universe. So this goes back to the theory I was talking about earlier in this video, that at some point, Ebimerra, at some point, who knows, maybe it was the Master of Masters who did it, maybe it was somebody else, maybe Brain, who knows, he had his heart casted and somehow landed in Quadratum, and he became Yozora. And we'll go on to why I think that later, but for right now, that's the first part of the theory.
Okay, let's hear your input.
So we were discussing different forms before and different vessels and everything. So kind of how there was the Lingering Will, which was the armor.
Yeah, the living armor.
Yeah, the living armor that what used to be
Terra's body?
Terra. Yeah, that's just the armor, not the actual body.
It's like a
Okay.
spirit or like emotional, because like if you look at face him in the like Kingdom Hearts 2, it's like he's so angry or full of anger.
He's full of anger. He was full of anger because he was being led on by who he thought was a really good guy at the time, because he was at that moment he was still Master Xehanort instead of just Xehanort.
Exactly. So what began this whole thing was back in our playthrough Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, where Terra was able to defeat Master Xehanort, and
He was easily tricked. He got Bugs Bunny, bro, by Master Xehanort, and he was the Daffy Duck.
Yeah, it went from, oh, it's rabbit season, no, it's duck season now, punk.
Yeah.
But so just like how the Lingering Will was created out of sense of strong emotion or sense of like willpower, where he's like, I can't disappear like this. I have more to do. I need to get my revenge. I have to protect my friends. So it could be tied into strong like emotions or a strong willpower, because while similar, they are separate things. So maybe the current Yozora that we know is a different is one of those special forms, like the special versions.
Yes, the Lingering Will thing. Because it's also... this theory also ties back to, like, the summons in the first game, in this sort of way. Because you go talk to the Fairy Godmother, she gives you, like, Simba's charm, so you can summon it. And she says, like, oh, like, these were lost in the darkness when their world was destroyed, but their will was so strong, they were able to become a summon.
Yeah.
So, in some way, shape, or form, my theory is, like, strong emotions are going to play a big part in the next game. Like, emotional regret, and also ties into the Foretellers, because they're technically the 7 deadly sins, which are all strong bases of emotion, if you think about it, or sense of whatever.
Yeah, well, the thing is, strong emotions can take out to anything else. For example, when the whole thing happened with Terra, that he was possessed by Master Xehanort, his armor protected him, but it didn't protect the physical body. The armor just became out of there and then reshaped back together after Xehanort took control of him, and then when he was about to leave, the whole Doom Sphere happened, and that's when the Lingering Will was created for that.
Out of Terra's anger
Lament.
and like the fact that he was so steadfast in not wanting to have things end that way.
Indeed, so the strong emotions can create anything possible, just like with Terra, and including with the summons. And there's also a few other things we've learned.
The rage form that
Rage-
Sora has, where he pretty much gives all of his health to deal massive just get a massive attack and speed buff at the cost of, if he gets hit, he's just going to go down.
Yes, it could tie into that, because the moral did say, like, it'll be right in our faces, and we never really talked about the Rage Form. The Rage Form just came out of nowhere in Kingdom Hearts 2. You're just like, oh, it's a form that kind of happens, I guess. But no, it might be tied to, like, a last resort kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing. Like, before you die, or when a soul dies, they can't pass on unless they finish that one task they have to do.
Indeed.
And speaking of lost souls, this kind of ties into Purgatory and how Donald and Goofy might come into Kingdom Hearts 4 at this point, as they search for Sora. Who else knows about dead souls?
Well, the thing about Dead Souls is that we know there's Strelitzia, for that matter.
Well, Justin, which Disney character, family-friendly Disney character, if you can kind of call that, has knowledge of the dead? That they know.
Hades.
Yes.
Oh, of course, I forgot.
What? Who else? Who's voiced by James Woods? Who knows? Yeah, he
Yeah.
says, "I am the Lord of the Dead."
That is his entire job.
Yes.
Obviously, he's pretty much the Lord of the Dead since he controls the underworld, duh.
So, Donald and Goofy will have to somehow pass their souls somehow to Purgatory. Although I doubt Hades will do at least with some kind of, offer.
There, well, if we look towards one idea that we had, that it kind of gives them an easy way to do it that ties into another topic we have to discuss: empty vessels.
That's true.
True.
Because if they need to go to Purgatory, they can leave their bodies as empty husks, like empty vessels, and get sent to Purgatory, perhaps, which is the Quadratum. They might be able to do it that way.
That is true. Because according to like the lore for Kingdom Hearts, you can cast away your soul, or your heart, rather, as long as either some part of you is still around in that time when people still remember you, you can come back. Because Maleficent did come back in Kingdom Hearts 2, even though when she was defeated in Kingdom Hearts 1, she somehow came across into the whole thing and Unchained Key and all that stuff.
And Mickey and Minnie and Daisy and
all the
Pluto are
everybody-
never gonna forget.
Oh,
You
yes,
can't
yes, we're
forget
not going
Goofy.
to.
You can't. Well, Donald, I guess you can't forget because of how much he screwed you over in Kingdom Hearts 1 for those players out there.
Yes, we
Never-
remember that.
Heals himself.
Never
heals you.
He never heals. His soul might be lost, but Goofy will bring him back. Like, Goofy remembers Donald.
Yeah.
If we could just if we could play all those games and just never have Donald in the party.
We should take Donald and move him somewhere else.
I usually
Oh, yeah, there's
actually
that.
legitimately just go as a party of 2.
Uh,
It's like, nope, I'm not bringing Donald. He can stay in the box.
yikes.
He uses all of my potions.
Yes. Speaking of emotions, the foretellers, based on the 7 deadly sins, are all strong emotions. There's like envy, rage.
Yeah, hey, maybe that's where the rage form came in.
That's could be true.
It makes sense. But if we're going on the 7 deadly sins, there are a number of things I remember about it.
Well, technically, there's 6 because Ava's not there.
Yeah.
She's still missing.
Yeah, well, why don't I count
7
them?
exist.
Yeah.
Exists, but Ava's dead, quote unquote, gone.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's also...
Making Quadratum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well, for the 7 deadly sins, I like to be able to count the numbers. There's greed, lust, gluttony, and there's also wrath,
Yes.
envy,
So there's greed, lust, pride, sloth,
pride,
envy, pride,
and
wrath.
yeah, that is 7 in total.
Yeah. So now there's 6
So,
at this point.
so if we had to take one sin out of the way, it would have to be.
I have to look it up.
I think it most likely had to be pride out of the way.
No.
No,
No.
she's not Pride. Let me look it up.
It might be sloth.
It's possible. It could be that.
They might just be hiding in Quadratum, just to avoid having to do anything.
Or it could be amongst them without realizing it. It could be one or the other. I might be wrong.
Or it could be envy.
If that was the case, then there's gotta be some possible
Well,
explanation.
Envy's the snake, and I think Raps is Gula the big.
The bear.
Yeah.
And Ira's most likely Wrath, which would make sense. And Lushu's most likely Greed, since he wanted to get the Keyblade so badly.
Yes. And he still wants it.
And the Masters of Masters is most likely either Sloth, since he likes to sit on the sidelines. After all, he didn't intervene until it happened.
He could be pride,
That's true, he could be that.
because he's always super confident that everything's gonna go the way he thinks it's going to go.
Yes. Well, speaking of all those strong emotions, their bodies had. What happened to their bodies after they died? They had to have. Lucio had to have some way to bring them back.
My only guess is that I think they cast their forms, or better yet, recreate them.
At some point, they had to have been recreated or brought back at a certain point where they remember before they passed. Because they ask, like, Lucio, is that what you look like now? And because that's not what they remember that he looked like before the war happened.
You know, that is a valid point, and if there's some other way to cast your form and come back, it would be after that they would end up having their strong emotions and ended up in the final world.
That's true. And speaking of that, I feel like we're gonna have another couple of key players coming with Dom and Goofy to Purgatory. Maleficent and Pete, because who else do they know? Hades, of course, because they're part of the League of Villains at that point.
It was at the beginning.
You want to know what other key player might join them to just make sure everything goes the way it's needed?
And that
There might be a small possibility that Riku might get sent.
Yeah,
I think that's where he was going before in Melody and Memory. I think he was on his way there.
in Quadratum.
He might be stopped by the Master of Masters or someone else entirely, so he doesn't get to Sora.
I think
Yeah, but because if he doesn't even make it into Quadratum, you know that if Sora's there, he's going to find a way to find Riku. He always does.
Yeah,
Or somebody,
that's
yeah.
how it goes. And I remember distinctively back in the Kingdom Hearts 3 Secret Ending in 2019 that when Yuzora was walking around into the streets, Yuzora could see him from the building. So he might be stopped by him.
Yes.
Although, this is what I remember correctly. Yuzora said, "How'd you recognize me as Yuzora? This isn't what I really look like. And how do you know Zora's name? Because we all thought at first that it was supposed to be Yuzora, but it's not really him. It was somebody else, trying to copy the form." So my theory that I remember correctly, that we did discuss a little while ago, is that The Asura is not what he is. Just like Lushu, he might have cast his old form and went to a new one like that, like he possessed Brain in Union Cross.
Yes, so we don't know who exactly. Would it be weird if Riku somehow made it but lost his memory and his form changed to fit in Kodragon?
That could make sense, but how
I
do
mean, it's a stupid idea, but
I mean, it is a valid idea.
yeah, because like you meet Sora, this is not what it looks like, and he's looking for that exact Sora. Maybe he forgot. Because maybe Purgatory messes with your memory when you enter.
That might be why everything changes as you move around.
Yes.
and it could also explain my change of form. We know that for a first fact that when Sora was still in his Kingdom Hearts 3 outfit, his form changed immediately right after being Quadratum.
That's true. So, here's my thing. I feel like once you enter Purgatory, the longer you stay there, you become part of the Purgatory world. Like, you become part of Quadratum.
The harder it is to get out.
Yes.
So, go on.
Like, the more you forget about who you truly are, the more you become part of this world in Purgatory, your sense of self is gone. You're just a new person.
Yeah, including the memories as well, so it might be possible the longer you stay in the Purgatory, the more likely it becomes permanent.
Yeah, so this kind of goes into what worlds I think we might get for Kingdom Hearts 4. And one of them is Coco, of course. There's supposedly going to be a Star Wars world. I have no idea what it is. I'm hoping it's just the Mandalorian.
Yeah, and I'm hoping there's Treasure Planet involved because we've seen a little bit of reference, and not to mention a few cameos of that.
We were so close to getting that in Green Drop distance. I swear to God, we were so close.
Yeah, we were, but apparently knowing some things, it just couldn't be helped.
Well, speaking of other things about small emotion earlier, we could get Inside Out World, which would make sense because it's a weird kind of area to put. It's not exactly a world. It's in the mind, and it's kind of like a weird.
You want to know what other world might might be able to be tied in because of where they are?
What?
Haunted Mansion.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is true. For our souls, we're 99 happy haunts. There's always room for one more.
In the,
They
yes.
are always. They even want. We're always looking for one.
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember distinctly the Haunted Mansion might include some things in mind that we might not notice about. But I think it might be true if it was added into there. It could show a few other prospects.
Would it just be like the new one or the Eddie Murphy one?
Not sure,
That'd be.
but either way.
Either way, it would be neat to see that tie into like the Lost Souls.
Yeah, it ties into literally everything that has to do with Purgatory, pretty much.
Maybe that's how they meet. That's how Don and Goofy show up. They meet in Haunted Mansion.
Yeah,
That would be really cool.
and if Donald and Goofy were lost in the mansion, someone would have to get them out. So it could be the residents there, or someone who just recently moved into the house.
They might revisit Nightmare Before Christmas too.
That could make
That is
sense.
kind of a weird because it's not exactly the dead. It's more like its own little thing.
Yes, but
yeah.
they, because of how it ties in with like Graves and the direct link is the direct link to Sora from there is dealing with Jack Skellington, which is basically just a soul that just remained possessing the skeleton.
If they were gonna go that deep, I think they would. But I don't know. There's also like a book that ties into Nightmare Before Christmas. I haven't read it yet. There's like a couple of books.
Because it wouldn't be the first time they revisited worlds.
No, like it seems like Nomura likes to go back to like Hercules.
Yeah, like look at Mount Olympus. How many times has that been around?
For
What?
quite a while.
3 or 4 times?
3 or 4 times almost in every game.
Yeah, in all but like one game it's there.
Yeah, and as for the Nightmare Before Christmas, it was the first time in Kingdom Hearts
It's
1.
been in like at least a total of 3 times.
Yeah, about 3
Are
times
we
for the
counting
night.
Recoded?
I don't know.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't.
That wasn't in Recoded, no.
It wasn't. It was sent back in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, but that's just
2
it.
and then Days, that was.
That was it.
Yeah, only 3, so it's about 3 times for that.
It wasn't on any of the like lesser known like Dream Drop Distance,
Recoded, not to mention about Birth by Sleep.
or 3. It wasn't in any version of Birth by Sleep.
Yeah, so speaking of doing like stuff, at summons, I would love to see like, I don't know if you guys have seen this movie. Like, I like to see Sparky from Frank and Laney show up as a summon.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Place your magic stat like Stitch.
Ooh, Corpse Bride.
Yeah.
I don't think that. No, that's not Disney.
No, it isn't.
It's it's a completely different studio. It would have been cool if they did have that.
Yeah, and I thought of something while I was at it. For a different summon. Imagine if, let's see, for example, if they were to bring back Simba again, but in a different form, wouldn't that be good?
I don't want that live action.
No, not that. I'm talking about the animated version, like a
fine.
ride along for Simba.
Fine, okay. That would be fine. How about like Morph from Treasure Planet?
Oh yeah,
If we're gonna get a sneak peek of Treasure Planet, why not do this? Because it's not the first time that they give us summons from worlds that haven't existed yet in the game.
Yes, and Morph can just shape into anything like a Keyblade or another version of Sora.
Or I guess it could just be like any other weapon you want and switch on fly.
Yeah.
That'd be really nice to utilize. So, is there any other theories that we have yet to do?
Okay, there's Infamous Soul, there's the 4 towers we did, there's the Sora's emotion of self-sacrifice.
Yeah, that we didn't do that one.
Yeah, no, we didn't do that one.
Yeah, so tie back to the motions things that we talked about earlier.
Sora's always willing to put himself last. He's always willing to put himself in harm's way.
Yeah, like he did the same for Kairi back around the Keyblade
Kairi,
graveyard.
Naminé, Riku.
Literally anyone who needs help, he will throw himself in harm's way
Right.
to help.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they like make themselves known to be an enemy, then he's like, okay, then
Yes.
we need to rumble. But if you aren't directly an enemy, he probably would sacrifice his life to make sure you live.
Now that could be a
Yes.
true way to start with it. After all, Sora just beats his enemies, he doesn't kill them.
Oh no.
I'm just saying.
Well, we did try to sucker punch Davy Jones in the face,
Yeah.
which was pretty rad. Not gonna lie, like that was actually pretty cool.
He doesn't kill his enemy.
No, but he will sucker punch him to death if that's the case.
Yeah, I definitely remember him barrett
Then what
fisting him.
about all those Heartless and all those Heartless bosses?
Okay, he did just take them down for that.
Well, that is true. He does too.
Yes, we definitely remember that.
I get this. You're a heartless, or in this case, a possessed evil monster from under the sea who rides a ghost ship.
Or whatever,
You're-
those weird, like, I forget what they're called, the white gangly,
The light ganglers. Those are the nobodies.
Yeah, the Dusks.
the Heartless thing,
Yeah,
the Dusks.
Yes.
And then, so, he'll destroy Heartless, he'll destroy the Dusks. Basically, if you are a monster, he's going to destroy you.
Yes.
But if you're almost anything else, he will do his best to keep you alive.
My
Yeah.
guess, Riku would probably be fighting. If this was probably going to be a secret boss, if this is what I'm thinking of. It might be a secret boss the same way as he fought Sora back in Dream Drop Distance. Except it's not an armor of Ben this time. It's just another Sora in a different form that the Purgatory is penetrating, that he has to get through first.
Like messing with their minds and hallucination.
The one
And watch it copy the play style
of Sora.
of the way you play through the game of Sora.
Yes, imagine this, like, this Sora that Riku is going to be fighting is the Sora from Kingdom Hearts 3. And I'm talking he has all the stuff, everything, every summon, every ability, and he can counter you like it's nobody's business, just like Roxas does in Kingdom Hearts 2.
That is definitely true. It's like a self-reflection.
Like you, or a place like you.
Or you fight or when you fight Terranort.
Oh god.
That battle.
I hate that boss.
In a way, it's kind of like a self-reflection. You face about what you did to the boss, and then right after you go into the next part, like a different version, like in Riku's side, like Riku faces up against a different form of Sora. It's like seeing yourself in a reflection of a mirror, and then you face both yourself.
That's true. So, my guess is, guess in Purgatory, there might be a way for Sora to try to not only get back, he's also trying to find a way to get back Strelitzia as well. Because, hey, I had a brother who had a tattoo, and like maybe slowly her memory starts to come back or whatever, and then Sora puts the point together, like, oh, that's Marluxia.
Maybe he'll find a way to like give everyone who's lost their memories
Back. Maybe he'll just save her and get her back out of Purgatory and find her brother Marluxia, because we don't know what happened to him. We don't know if he's fully recreated or not.
Or that he actually survived.
Well, Well, Sora did say, like, well, you're being recreated. You're dying, but you're being recreated because now that your nobodies are gone, you're gonna start the whole process over again, just like Axel did. So the problem is, we don't know where Marluxia or Arxie ended up, especially at the end.
Sorry to interrupt, but when you say recreate, don't you mean recomplete?
Recompleted or recreated, or yeah.
It's
Whatever.
pretty much recompleted because
it's
when in...
implied to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fair enough too. I just wanted to be sure of that.
We're not being Palestine. This isn't school.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Point being is that if Sora is the key to be able to get the lost souls back their memories and back to their homes, maybe he can find a way how to get them out of there from Quadranthem back to their own world.
Maybe. It might require to get another vessel to do so.
So
Because apparently what we don't know, her body is gone.
Mm-hmm.
so
And the only one that would remember her, if he does remember her again, when he's, like, recompleted, is Marluxia.
so crazy idea
What's that?
is, so we were talking about like getting their memories back and everything. What if the trade-off is Sora doesn't get to leave?
What do you mean?
What if they make a fifth one, you aren't playing as Sora?
But somebody else?
What if it's time? What if they make a game where Kairi and Riku are the only duo, with an occasional pop in from like Mickey, because he's always keeping an eye on Riku. Like, what if you travel as those two, and those two are out to save him instead of him saving everyone else for a change?
That actually would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Since we know Sora is the go-to to like help someone in need first before his own, I could see him asking Donald and Goofy to take Strelitzia back to the other side first and leave him and wait for Riku and Kairi to come get him back.
Yeah, after thinking back to it, it would make sense. After all, both Riku and Kairi survived thanks to Sora, so now it's their turn to do the same for him.
And then that way, like in Kingdom Hearts 5 or whatever, like Lucius' plan is going out without a hitch. He's got everybody together and they're ready to strike. And now, more than ever, they need to get Sora back so they can prepare for what's to come.
Mm-hmm. So, about the next coming Keyblade War or something.
Or technically, yes.
And what if that's those two's test to see if they are really like
Keyblade Masters. Yeah, that could be their.
that could be their test.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
Riku passed. Kairi technically like rushed her, so he didn't really pass.
So, yeah, so it's basically...
Riku's I wouldn't fully call his a pass, because so with the Keyblade Masters, they kind of like have a mastery over like the light and dark aspects of
Yes,
it.
and Riku kind of has.
Only a full mastery of the darker side of it. He doesn't have a full grasp of the lighter side, because all he knew for 90% of those games
It's darkness.
is the darkness. Which is why his Keyblade takes the form that it does.
It was the way to Dawn at first, and
Yeah.
now it changed after the Keyblade was broken to Brave Heart.
Yeah, that shows that he's making an effort, but it's not like with Sora's Keyblade, his were all about the mastery of light. Like,
Yes.
he's like as close to being a master of the light as you can be without having passed the test. Because he didn't.
Yes.
He
That's
failed it, like twice.
now that you mention it. I remember that Terra bequeathed the Keyblade onto Riku when he was a child, and right before that, everything became what it was. Which would be that he was supposed to originally get the Kingdom Key, and then when Sora was trying to save Riku in Kingdom Hearts 1, by being swallowed to darkness, the Kingdom Key appeared to Sora, choosing him. And when it happened in Kingdom Hearts 1, the Kingdom Key chose Riku, and then when Sora learned a lot of things, he was able to get the Keyblade back from him.
Yes.
Like, I'm not gonna discredit any of Riku's hard work, because he has worked hard. He's made a lot of progress
And changed.
and has changed a lot, but he's still a very angry character.
Yeah.
At some way, shape, or like if you say you compare him to Sora, he's gonna, or not Sora, like Aqua to Sora. Remember how he got like, what are you serious?
Oh, yeah,
no,
that's-
he's nothing like him.
Like
That
strong
dork?
like Sora. That would definitely make sense. And I do agree with you about Riku's hard work, that he did earn a lot and change over the series, so he has earned the hard work of redeeming himself.
Like, the closest thing person I could compare him to is Terra.
Yeah, that I remember.
They both let darkness consume them.
Yes,
And Terra was able to redeem himself.
Yes.
and they will redeem themselves as well. So, speaking of which, I feel like the next boss, like the next big bad, like the Master of Masters, we're all gonna go against light. It's commonplace at this point. Like the next thing that he wants is like a world full of light. Like I'm not the only one getting like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season
Yeah.
2
Oh yeah,
vibes
that
from this
part.
guy. He's like, yeah, like it's all about the light, baby. It's all about light, and darkness can get the heck out. They don't belong here. It's all about the light.
There needs to be a balance of it.
Exactly. Like Mickey learned that in the Chain of Memories. Like,
Which is why Riku and Sora worked well together.
yes, and I feel like those two are going to be the one to defeat the Master of Masters together, both light and dark as a balance.
Yeah. That's why I say I don't think he is a true Keyblade Master. He's got half of it locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Sora, when he gets to the chains and he passes the test, will get the other half locked in pretty much. So when the two of them work together, I think that's when it's going to be like, okay, we have full control, like full knowledge and ability to use the lighter side of things, full power and ability to use the dark side of things. We're the balance. What do you do? And I think eventually when those two do fully work together against against Xehanort, against all of them, those two are going to be the key.
Yeah, they did the same thing against Sendis when they fought against him in Kingdom Hearts 2.
And I feel like if we're going to go against light, and in this next game, apparently this is what it's trying to go to, we're going to need help from those from the dark.
Yeah, you're gonna need.
We're going to have to get Maleficent. We're going to get Pete, as much as we don't really mind him around. We can tolerate him at best, but
And
yeah.
yes, and let's not forget the darkness itself individual. We could have his help on that.
You could just like, well, I don't want to be wiped out, so I guess I'll give you guys a hand. Maybe give Riku a power boost.
He probably won't be direct in it, but he'll be
Yes.
like, "Hey, here."
Give Riku like a little boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did help him out back around Kingdom Hearts 1 when Riku was lost to darkness after Ansem. Basically, the Heartless version of Xehanort possessed him, and he
Was
did
it
help out.
Wait, wasn't Mickey the one that helped him out?
No, Mickey was pretty much in the realm of darkness with Aqua, so it wouldn't make sense for him just to help out Riku.
I
He
guess.
helped him at the end.
At the end, but
Yeah.
But during like the entirety of
Kingdom Hearts Final Mix?
during the entirety of Kingdom Hearts 1 when Riku's kind of off doing his own thing,
I guess
he has Ansem with him the entire time.
I guess that's
Uh-huh.
true. Anyway, what else? Is there anything else that we're missing?
I
Let's
don't
see.
think so, really.
We
No.
got strong emotions, giving out your memories to create empty casting your form to travel to other universes, purgatory in the land of Quadrandum, purgatory. If you lose your heart, you truly go to the final world. Down to good, they go to Hades and send their souls to Purgatory to search for Sora. And from her soul, still in the world between, after he was so found, so you can have his body possessed by the Masters and Masters.
Oh, we did not talk about that one.
No, that's true.
Oh yeah, so that theory. I feel like since Heavy Mara's heart was like running around in Kingdom Hearts 3, so he wasn't fully like completed or whatever or dead. So did the same thing like Sora, like he lost his heart and everything, or got cast aside.
Yeah.
So my question is, this goes on to like the blank era. What's going on in like Missing Link? Wait, where is Heavy Mara now? Is he dead? Where is he? Where did he go? He made this entire city, but we haven't seen him. We don't hear is he's like the big honcho who made this all possible, and how? We don't know exactly. But there's a bunch of Keybladers here, and he's well regarded.
Maybe he's the reason why they all haven't just disappeared yet.
Yes, or this could be because remember most of the Keyblade loaders scattered.
Yeah.
The Dandelions anyway, according to the Keyblade War. So
Thanks to Alpha. And-
they could have ended up there.
Or, better yet, they were all scattered, and when Scarlet Island was created, Emperor must have sent some messages to find the survivors and lead them to a safe shelter. And that is the rebuilt version of Daybreak Town, the Scarlet Island. At least half of it, I think.
At least somewhere where Missing Link takes place, where this is where all the Keyblade loaders who survived like seek refuge there at the time being before, Xehanort came along and
The whole Dark Sacred saga.
yeah, and that happened.
Yeah, that much I think we got covered up. Is there anything else we missed?
That's everything.
No, I
else?
think we're good. I hope this. I'm sorry of all these theories for just basically rapid fire for the most part, but I hope they got you guys thinking. So if you guys have any ideas or want to talk about it in the comments, do so. We would like to hear.
And a lot of it just ties directly into each other. So there's always like little things that can be added. There's so much that even if it's right in our face that we don't see of the Kingdom Hearts world, because there's Easter eggs everywhere that everyone's worried about, but then there are the hidden messages that no one does see, because it's kind of just like, oh, it's there, but there's a different message that they're displaying at the same time.
Yes, like Nomura likes to play around like that. Like sometimes the most obvious thing could just be that, and we probably wouldn't know about it because people keep going around in circles.
Yeah, and there's also references involved as well. Knowing him from Nomura, he likes to be able to learn the lore and something that has to click. References are very good too.
Well, yeah. So, I guess this is the end of the discussion video. If you have any other suggestions or want to leave your theories, leave them in the comments. And so we'll try to check them out and comment as much as possible. So, till then, we'll see you guys next time for another Kingdom Hearts theory video. If ever we get more news for Kingdom Hearts. Until then, see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Remember,
Bye.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye.